Welcome, beautiful friends. Today, I'm going to be sharing something so exciting that I wish somebody had shared with me when I was trying to rebuild my business after going on a hiatus to heal from 5 autoimmune conditions. This is the exact 5-figure roadmap that I honestly have never heard anybody share before. And it's exactly what I teach inside of Magnetic CEO Ascension. So grab a pen and paper and let's take some notes. I'll start with the first and probably the most dynamic part of building your business to 5 figures, getting your business to 5 figures is really energetics. If you've been in my world, you know that I always say and share that any manifesting that you're wanting to do, whether it's business or life, is all about 80% energetics. And so what I teach inside of Magnetic CEO is starting your framework, your roadmap with energy leadership. So, understanding what are the beliefs and perceptions that you are going to be projecting out as you're building your business. For example, something I talk a lot with my clients is, when you are putting your offer out, or if you're somebody who gets on sales calls, you're getting on a sales call with somebody, how are you feeling? What are you believing to be true on the other side of that action, of the sales call, of putting your offer out? Are you feeling contracted? Are you feeling like it's not going to happen? Are you afraid to sell? And so this is why energetics is so important, because do you believe it's possible before you take the action? It's also the reason why so many people burn out, is because so many people take the action, but they're not backing it with the energetics. And so you're force manifesting. And this is something I also teach a lot in my manifesting spaces about the difference of force manifesting to magnetic manifesting. So you definitely want to start out with energetics. And I have an assessment that I give to all of my clients, whether one-on-one or inside Magnetic CEO Ascension, that actually kind of speeds up the process, because the assessment shows me exactly where they're at in their subconscious, like what are the beliefs and perceptions that are running on autopilot against them. And so we're able to speed up the process with that assessment and get straight to, let's clear out these distortions. Let's take a look at what's going on in the mindset and the subconscious, so we can start clearing that before you start taking that action, so that you don't burn out. So the first part of this roadmap is definitely energy leadership. How are you leading yourself energetically? The beliefs and perceptions that you have going on. The second part of the roadmap is building a trust funnel. I know that in a world of social media and instant gratification, and you probably have a feed filled with people celebrating their 6-figure months and what have you, and all their wins. But the truth of the matter is, you don't know how they got there. First of all, you don't know what their 80% of energetics were. And second of all, you don't know how long they've been at this and what kind of strategy they have in place. So, to the naked eye, it can appear that, wow, people are really making money really fast and they're just selling and people are buying. And so you go set forth on your path and you start to see maybe some results, but you're not really building trust. Especially in this day and age where people are becoming a lot more discerning, it's important to build a trust funnel. And also, if you are in it for the long game as a forever entrepreneur, this is something you also want to do. You want to build a trust funnel instead of posting and ghosting, as I like to say, your offers and then hoping somebody will buy, because you're assuming that everybody's ready to buy. When you build a trust funnel, you you know are really creating a community of buyers who want to buy all of your offers. It starts out, if basic sales, it starts out with people being, cold leads, so to speak. And so having that trust funnel, especially because I know that people in my world are, you know they're heart-centered entrepreneurs. So that having that trust funnel is going to really help you be laser focused with your content strategy, with building trust with your community, and not your visibility, and also having a community of raving fans that, like I said, you're putting out an offer and they want to buy it because you have given them so much value and you've built so much trust. Okay. So that's number two. Number three on the roadmap is having a unique framework or methodology. This is really important. And again, it ties into trust because one of the number one things people desire is feeling safe. And if you're coming across because you don't have a unique framework with all of your different gifts, and you're coming across as like somebody who's throwing spaghetti hoping it'll stick, then you're not really going to build trust. People are going to feel this energy. I'm especially going to going to talk about this to manifesting generators we tend to be multifaceted and we have all of these gifts, and we're just like kind of sharing them all sporadically. But when you have a framework that you can show people how you take them from A to B to C, it really does have that grounded energy that make people feel safe and that they can trust you and that what you're offering is going to work for them. And then on the flip side of that, as an entrepreneur, having that framework is also going to keep you really focused on your different offers so that again it doesn't, this is like more of an energetic piece where I had all these ideas, I had all these journals filled with all of these different things that I help people with, but I wasn't really honing them into a framework or methodology. And I finally did. And I feel really, really confident in sharing my offers because not only do I know they help people, but also I know they're really grounded and rooted in this energy of like, I know exactly how to take you from step A to your desired outcome. So that's the importance of having a framework and a methodology. The fourth step on the roadmap to 5 figures is dialing in your magnetic messaging so that you are attracting empowered clients who are ready to invest. I actually just did this last week with a client she's like a high caliber healer in the online space. And she was a little bit frustrated that she was attracting people who were kind of the tire kickers, not ready to invest yet. And that's okay. There's a service and an offer for them, but the offer she had putting out was higher ticket. So when I looked at her messaging, which again, I use the energy leadership scale of consciousness to back into it, I could tell that in her messaging, she was trying to convince people. And your high caliber people who are ready to buy high ticket, they don't need convincing. So when you're speaking to those people that you need to convince, the energy is a lot more dense. And so that's what you're projecting out and that's what you're attracting back. So it's really important. Again, this is a combination of having the energetics, but also like actually knowing how to do magnetic messaging, which again is something I teach inside of Magnetic CEO Ascension. All right. Step 5 is having a timeline pathway. What does this mean? Again, you heard me mention a little bit of this when I was talking about building trust and your trust funnel. The timeline pathway is understanding where your client is at in each part of their journey and how you can support them with different offers. And so we back this into creating offers, but it's important for you to understand what is the timeline pathway of the offers that you have, the products that you offer, and again, kind of like what are your gifts and how can you back them into the timeline pathway. For example, some people might come into my world wanting to learn more about magnetic manifesting. So I have some low ticket offers that they can invest in and start to build a trust that are solely geared towards magnetic manifesting. Then from that, I could take them to the next part of the journey with an offer that might be include magnetic manifesting and maybe magnetic messaging or something else in the timeline pathway. But it's important for you to understand where your client is at each level so that you can create that timeline for them with different offers. All right, so that's step 5. Step 6 is, oh my God, and probably this is the most important. I should probably have this as like step 2, but it's building a community. Like I said, when I was talking about the trust funnel, if you are just kind of selling to sell, it's going to take longer for you to start selling and for people to start buying, really. Building a community, getting clear on who your people are, and serving them every day really, really pays off. This is something that it took me some time to realize how important this was. And I just want you to think of it as like, you know, the customer, right? Like building that customer fan base, let's call it your customer fan base. If you don't have that, selling is going to feel like like your people are always cold, like you're cold marketing to them. When you build a community, not only does it feel amazing because, like I said, you're a heart-centered entrepreneur if you're listening to this, and it just feels really good to give to people, but it's like almost like immediately you become magnetic because people feel that and they want to be in your world for the long haul. So building a community is so important. Now, there are many different ways in which you can do this. So many ways. Having a podcast is one of them. Having a Facebook group is another one. But always let the foundation of building your community be, how can I serve my people? How can I give to my people? If that's the foundation and you start building your community from that frequency, I can guarantee you're going to attract not only some of the most amazing humans as clients, but they are going to love on you just as much as you love on them. All right. And then the last step 6, is what I call embodied magnetism. This is the part where it doesn't matter, like I said at the beginning, when we were talking about energy leadership, you can be doing all the doing, but it's the do before the who before the do. It's always the who before the do. And unless you're fully embodied in believing in your offers, loving on your community, serving from the heart, and having a regulated nervous system, you're gonna have those energies that can be sticky, and people feel that. So embodied magnetism is about 2 things in my world. And I teach this in my different spaces. The first thing is nervous system regulation and capacity, because if you're somebody, let's say you're not making the money that you thought you would make this month, and you start to freak out about it, and your nervous system starts to dysregulate, then the way you show up is not going to be magnetic. It's going to be contracted. And the capacity piece is more to do with how much you're able to hold as you're expanding as an entrepreneur. And when I say hold, I mean everything that comes with being an entrepreneur: more money, more clients, more responsibility, more visibility, etc. So how are you leading from the highest version of yourself is always the question I ask myself when it comes to embodied magnetism. Am I doing a Facebook Live from the frequency and the energy of like, oh, I really don't want to do this, I really don't know what to say, which is contracted embodiment? Or am I leading from that higher version of myself who loves to love on her community and loves to give and just has so much to share and has such an open heart and no attachment to the outcome? So that's an example of embodied magnetism. People can feel that. So that is the 7th step in the roadmap to 5-figure months. To recap, the first step is energy leadership. The second step is building your trust funnel. The third step is having your unique framework and methodology. The fourth step is dialing in on your magnetic messaging so you attract empowered clients. The fifth step is creating that timeline pathway of offers for your people. The sixth step is building a wonderful community. And the seventh step is embodying your magnetism and being your higher self leader. So I hope all of these helped. Be sure, if we're not already connected on Instagram, be sure to jump on at Sonia Lopez Coach and join the broadcast channel. I also drop some goodies in there a few times a week, and continue to stay tuned for other episodes on this podcast. And I will see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.